We are live. So I'll say, indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining me again on another day. Would you look at that? Another day, another day. It's almost like every time it's another day again, so conveniently. It's almost, you know, like there is some level of momentum going on here, right? There's some momentum. There is something out there pushing us forward, right? If it's the drive to eat, the drive to find partners, if it's the want to evolve, if it's the want for consciousness to explore more and more things, I don't know. I don't know. What I do know is that it's clear that there is momentum happening here, right? Trees are growing with the momentum that they've built in the direction they're going. And clearly it's not done, right? Otherwise, we would have stopped by now. But there is still much more for us to do. So, the way I've been thinking about it as of late is this perspective of surrender. I tend to be very masculine in my way of showing up in the world sometimes, wanting to see results by action, right? Do thing, and then after do thing, then get thing, and then after get thing, be able to do more thing, and then get more thing, and then do more thing again, etc., into infinitum, right? But unfortunately, that is like a closed loop. It still kind of takes a advantage, if you will, of the same momentum, but it takes advantage of it instead of being aligned with it, right? So realizing that when we surrender to our path, the thing we were talking about yesterday, right? And before that, our path as a part of choices, to realize that your path is being flung, right? Sent into infinity at Mach speeds. I think there's some shenanigans happening in the background. Hey, what are you two doing? You don't have balls, dude. You don't have balls anymore. Oh. I'm sorry. His momentum. His momentum got taken away, but he's still willing, it seems, at least. So today's stream topic obviously attaches to building momentum in your life as well, right? This life thing clearly has momentum, and your life clearly has momentum. And the things that you do are the things that you contribute, you surrender your momentum to, getting momentum out of it by surrendering to it. It's like a stream, right? Or a spaceship that you can technically, on the spaceship as it's flying through the space, at light speed or whatever, you can walk backwards into the ship, right? And you can walk forwards into the ship, creating some sort of illusion that you are now traveling at the speed of light, plus how fast you're walking. Oh, I'm making even more progress. But technically, the only thing you need to do is surrender, sit in the spaceship, and realize we're going in the same direction. All we have to now do is figure out how to be in the same spaceship, right? I hope the stream topic lands with you, friends. It's nice having you here. Joy V, so nice seeing you. Sending you love, Shannon. Susanna is here too. How does your grass get cut, Melty? You have this amazing piece of technology called a grass mower. We call it a grassnyer, directly translating to grass cutter. And then you plug it into electricity, and then it has a motor with like basically called a stator motor. It has these coils attached to it, and then it has a magnet kind of in the inside of those coils. And then as these coils create oscillations, that magnet wants to move, spinning a blade at extreme speeds. And then those extreme speeds chop the blades of grass up into little pieces. Don't look at me like that, JV. If you asked me how to, I want to plug in the lawnmower. Yeah, unfortunately, our lawnmower needs to be plugged in. Like our lawnmower has been broken so many times, so it's like some sort of jankified version where a three-phase motor has been haphazardly bolted onto the old chassis of what the lawnmower used to be. It looks so sketch. It looks so sketch, Jerviv. I can't even tell you. But it cuts grass. Oh yeah, oh, it cuts grass. The grass are so cut right now. Lurk today, Natalie. Seeing you too, friend. Even if you're lurking, maybe they stand over it and say insulting things. Jerviv, fuck you, grass. Go back to go back to Mama Gaia. Recoils. I see Lucia's here too, and I believe Susan is also joining us. Sending you love, dear friend. Electric mowers are a thing, apparently, very much so. Never heard of a plug-in mower. We used to have one that's gas powered, but it has an engine, and anything that has an engine has maintenance, and anything that needs maintenance needs maintenance because it breaks eventually. And unfortunately, that seems to be the case with many things. Oh man, momentum. Eva is in heat, and she's been weird, as they do sometimes. She doesn't have any friends that can get the job done for her. So I'm watching momentum, right? And this momentum is just lopsided. Is that the way I should think of it? It's like creating an oscillation in my mind that is shaking me instead of it just being an oscillation that creates synchronicity. Why isn't Eva fixed? Partially because we haven't done it yet. My mom has kind of suggested that she needs to get fixed. Other part of me is because they're so rare, Joy Vive. They're so rare. And if people knew what I knew about the kind of animals they are, they would be more desirable. So, from my perspective, I would like for her to maintain the ability to have little baby dogers, just so that if, in the wildest case, someone wants a hairless dog and we can find another little. The dude who had a male Zolo, he was actually living close, moved unfortunately, and we don't know where he moved to. And with him, of course, his dog went. Ah, but yeah, she's cutie patootie. Just can't figure out if I'm behind the technology or he is. I'm not sure either, it seems. You would need the longest extension cords ever. Yeah, they're really long, JV. Ridiculously, absurdly long, unfortunately. How are you, brother? I'm doing well, Susanna. Suzanne? Susan? I'm sorry. I'm doing well. I'm feeling more and more proud of myself these days. I have managed to like have a high score of 3 days again of like actually taking care of myself properly. Literally 3 days, and I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm doing good. So I'm trying to lean into that side of myself. I'm writing a lot these days. I'm working on a course or coaching type of setup, just so that I can potentially do even more when it comes to helping someone, while at the same time offering a service valuable enough to be paid for it, right? And I'm running a bunch of ideas. I think I got a good one today. You want to hear it? Uh, Feel free to steal it if you want to, because I think it can be valuable no matter who uses it. But it's this idea of accountability. I think that's the way I'll kind of set my coaching up. Like it might not be as frequent, at least when it's already set, but the whole premise of it, for me at least, or at least because I think that's the only thing I really have great skill in, is discipline, right? Discipline. And discipline is a hard one. I'm struggling with discipline every day of my life, and I've been working on discipline every day of my life, right? So it's one of those things where I don't know how to help another person become more disciplined just off the get-go. But today an idea arose in me to offer the coaching program, or the service of coaching, but to offer it for basically twice the price that I want to make, right? That I think would be fair for my work put in. And then attach the things that you want to be disciplined with to the other half of the capital you put in to get the coaching as a service. And then if you do the things you're supposed to be doing, you get your money back, right? Which technically, because it's double the price of the service, one, the service is either going to cost you what coaching costs you, plus the service is going to cost you what not doing what you're supposed to do costs you. So there's going to be a double financial incentive. At least this is the way I'm trying to process it. Double financial incentive to be more disciplined, because one, you're paying to be coached, and two, you're paying in advance for all of the things that you want to be disciplined with. And then if you are disciplined with all of these things, I'll give you back half your cash. I'll attach it to like dollar values and all of that. I have like a whole thing that I've written out as to how I could potentially do that. But that means that not only will you get to have disciplined coaching, but if you succeed at becoming more disciplined at the end of the month, technically, your second month is free, right? So I'm thinking about things, Susan. Like I've been realizing more and more this duality in me of extreme passivity, right? The the melting that is basically dissolution, right? Melting into the earth, disappearing from it. And then there's the melting that leaves a mark, if you will, right? And I'm imagining it romantically, of course, trying to imagine it as something beautiful, like lightning striking sand can leave these beautiful patterns in it, right? Like technically the sand didn't go away. The sand in the way that it used to be went away technically, but now as a result of this extreme heat, something was changed, transformed, become anew. And yeah, I I'm struggling with inside of myself to know, right? Am I supposed to do more, try and make more, or am I supposed to be okay with less as a principle, right? Like I'm just for doing it that way or something. How are you feeling, Susan? Let me know. Let me get this a little bit more. Good morning, Duck Dad and Isaac. It's nice having you. Hasn't she already had a litter? She has. With us, she's had one, Joy Vive. But all of those puppies have new homes. I even have the lady that got one of the puppies on my phone still, and she sends me messages and stuff. She called her little doggy Anubis, and she loves him to death. He was living with me for a while I was still working in Pretoria, and he completely destroyed my fiber. You know those little thin fiber wires that run into the house, and then they have like a little coil sometimes if there's extra that plug into your router. That coil to that little doggy for some reason was the coolest thing in the universe. So it chewed my fiber into pieces. And I feel like that was one of the moments I really noticed my strength of being like, okay, with the amount of shit in the house, one, and then having my fiber killed. I was like, oh, bruh. Technically my fault, I know. But damn, dude. Damn, damn. uh, I'm so confused, Melty. What are you confused about? Nothing neat about me on my sack or my sack. I'm so confused, Melty. That service is just so goofy it might work. I love the idea of financial pain for losing. I don't want it to be financial pain. I like this is the way I'll pose it, right? If I have a client, I'll be like, hey, you want to be more disciplined, huh? Yeah, so more disciplined. Okay, tell me what you want to be more disciplined with, right? And I'm going to obviously attach it to the whole tree analogy. I'm gonna start with three, right? Three big branches that you want to be growing in your life. Maybe it's your financial abundance. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's your relationships, right? And then from those branches, what do the smaller branches look like that attach to that big branch? And then, almost like making it finer and finer. And then, oh, brother, Uncle Becky, during today's meditation, I was sending you love. I had your voice in my head going, you can take nothing except this breath, and that too you'll need to let go. I was seeing your face on that RPAN stream and everything, sending you love. So figuring out which branches you want to be growing, and then asking you, right, like creating like some sort of discipline structure of what it is exactly you want to be doing, and then asking you, how valuable do you think it is for you to do this thing every day, right? And then attach the whole fact that you'll literally get paid. You'll actually get paid. Sure, it's gonna be your own money you get paid with. Sure. But also, you'll actually get paid to actually do the things you know you're supposed to be doing. So, thank you. Thank you. Brother Duck Dad, I'm happy that you might like it. Does it confuse you, Joy V, if you don't like it? Let me know what you think, friend. You know how money works. You're an accountability buddy. I try to be, dude. Accountability and discipline has been the only thing that I find I can give sometimes of value, right? Love in a way, love in a masculine way, right? That sometimes the man doesn't know how to show his love other than just showing up and doing things. And unfortunately, noticing this in my dad as well, it can come with feelings of being unappreciated, right? Because the love language of our children or of our wives or of our intimate partners might be different than our love language of just showing up and actually, being present. Is that a cable I see as well? Sending your love cables. Cool having you here, dude. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Someone passed me the accountability bond. What a great idea. From a great dude. Love you, Isaac. I'm happy that you friends like it. Thank you, Shan, for letting me know as well. Yeah, I'm really brainstorming, friends, because I want to be able to help you as well, right? That is technically the extension of it. If I get better at helping people be more disciplined, oh God, why is this happening? I'm not complaining, of course not, but I love you. Love, 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 love. Thank you for manifesting some abundance into my life. The trip. This is a trip. Dude, you friends unironically, make my heart light. You remind me that we are growing. We are growing. We're growing in a way that I never would have known possible, right? Like I was writing about this today in my journal, this capacity or expression of surrender. That was my journal entry for today, is write why it is good to surrender to the universe and trust fully or something in that context. And as I was echoing, like I realized this pattern in my life arising of growth, right? Where, for instance, like the yoga thing, I didn't know 2 years ago that this journey will make me a yoga teacher eventually. And when Brother Ryan reached out, I could have told him, nah, oh, I don't want to be a yoga teacher. Isaac, thank you. I love you. Love you so much. I love the fact that they have little thingies as well. I think I can actually make my own of those. Should I do that? Make my own little stickers. Maybe that will be our next course of action if I can remember to do that. So the point I'm trying to make, within the surrender, sometimes we'll have to surrender what we think we should be doing, right? And I've been trying to think about what I should be doing again from this perspective of momentum. That I'm trying to build momentum into a direction. And I wrote down in that whole surrender thing as well that the momentum I'm trying to build or the thing I'm trying to surrender to is showing up for love, right? That I realize fully that I cannot save everyone. Like for instance a podcast, right? If I wanted to do what it is we're doing right now in a podcast format, that would mean I would expect another person to also show up with me every single day in the way that we are right now, right? Which would be a little bit unrealistic. Thank you. That was Anna. Thank you, friends. I'm tripping out here right now, and I'm tripping out even more the more this is happening. My brain and it's like, oh yeah, think you're tripping out? No, here's more. It's more tripping out. Oh, where's my train of thought going? Momentum being built. Oh yeah. So I was like writing. I believe. I believe fully that if we can all convince each other to start showing up for love in whatever way, right? In our art, with the way that we are with our pets, the way we treat our bodies, the way we treat one another. If all of us do start showing up for love every day, then how is that going to change our world? How is that going to change our future? And I'm technically I'm adding, with some creative liberty, extra things that I feel like I should say in this moment. But specifically, Doug, that love you too, Fred. Thank you, thank you, friends. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it so much. I love you dearly, especially since we're sharing, this current fractal we're going through as well. You friends are my accountability buddies, by the way, because I know you're gonna be here. I'm like, shit. I'm going to go and say hi to Duck Dat and Cable. Say hi to Shan and Loizana. Thank you, Loizana, for joining us as well, friend. Let me get back to the comments a little bit. My heart is feeling all melty, making it rain. Yeah, right. And that's the crazy thing about this space, right? That is the crazy thing about this space. Like $10 to me is a lot of money because I live in South Africa, right? But $10 could be like me and you going for a coffee. Probably even more expensive these days in America, right? In South Africa, we would be able to go for 4 coffees with $10, basically. If I make them, we can have all the coffee we want. Okay. So that these few $10 show fun with a 777. Yeah, 777. With these small donations, you friends have now collectively manifested more abundance than I could have imagined, right? I I couldn't have imagined that today would have been this way that it is right now. Like I'm running out of things to say, and my brain is like trying to compute. Oh goodness, this world we live in. You friends have power. You friends have so much power, so much, so much power, so strong. And the only thing that I believe I'm here to do is to empower you, right? Almost like thinking of it as a, what analogy can I make that's beautiful? A spaceship. Again, let's go spaceship, right? I'm walking into an alien bunker and I see this gorgeous spaceship just standing. And I'm like, hey, Ski Bob, what's that spaceship doing? It's like, oh yeah, That spaceship decided it doesn't want to fly anymore. It's just gonna chill instead. Doesn't want to show up for nothing. Doesn't want to do jack shit. And then I get to, go into the spaceship and be all inspired. Wow, look at these phase array lasers. Look at these heat-seeking missiles. Very cool. Look at these quantum pulse generators. I'm just making up words at this point. And then, seeing the spaceship fly, seeing it become its most powerful self, become the thing it was always meant to be. And the craziest part, you want to hear it? You are even more insane than a quantum pulsar laser heat-seeking missile alien spaceship, right? In a way, this body that you call your own is the spaceship to your consciousness, right? The version of you that is observing. You are your own spaceship. And then the Earth is our spaceship extension of this version of ourselves. And then our solar system, the spaceship extension of our sun. And our sun, the spaceship extension of the galaxy. So many vehicles that we're flying through infinity with. Again, thank you. Thank you so much, dear friends. So much love to all of you. Let me see what I've missed. There's a little bug chilling on my screen. Joy V, what's the confusion? You pay 100% up front. You successfully get 50% if you fail. Melt these wins. They won't be my win. They'll be your wins, very specifically, right? Because my wins are going to be different to whatever your wins are. My wins will probably be eat well, exercise. This one feels especially painful. Sleep appropriately. I'll probably lose a bunch of cash with that one. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sleeping. Sleeping seems to be the thing that I have the most trouble with. And I've been writing in my journal about that as well, where I'm like asking, I'm like, why aren't you sleeping appropriately, dude? You know you're supposed to. You know it's good for you. What's up? And then I can feel this inner child. Anime, when we wake up early, you just work all day. And then we have to go and sleep early, and then we don't get to play. Yeah, okay, fine. Fine. Fine, I understand. I understand. I might be tripping myself out, of course, but I really felt that's the way that I chose to understand it. That there is this inner child, right? That does technically, for at least most of the time, have the wheel, and it will steer me in directions if it notices uncomfortability. And if I wake up at like 5 a.m., I spend most of my day working, or at least trying to do some sort of deep work, right? Writing these streams, trying to create something. And then I'm tired at the end of the day, so I go to sleep at like 8 or 9. And then because I go to sleep for 8 or 9, I am capable of getting up at 5 a.m. again. And then it just becomes this loop of feeling like I'm grinding myself to a pulp. Discipline, right? Or discipline. And I noticed as soon as I got back into that fractal of like working harder than I was used to working, if you will, how my brain just doesn't want to let me sleep. It would rather be bored, doing absolutely nothing, laying in bed, waiting to fall asleep, than get up early and I have to work. And I'm like, dude, stop it. Stop being so rude. It still is a little bit of a trip. Getting to know ourselves. Just take that money to the track. Better odds. No, Sam. Like it's supposed to be discipline. So the point of the coaching in the first place is going to be to increase your odds of becoming disciplined. And I hope that this is clear. I also want it to be something that makes me obsolete as fast as possible, because I don't think I'll be doing it for long. We'll probably be doing coaching for the next 2 years, maybe even less if we're lucky, right? And I don't want dependence. That's the last thing that I ever want. Don't want people feeling like they need me in order to be disciplined. I just want to help them create momentum, right? Melt helps you make momentum. Uh, 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 uh. Add like the dancing chorus sprinkled in there as well. Why not? While we're at it, dude, I'm telling you right now, I would pay with my means to be coached by you. Goat farts for cash. Trying to get into my own farm hustle. Maybe, Duck Dad. Maybe like even if we can't do, like proper compensation right now, it could be great for me to practice as well. So maybe we should do that, Duck Dad. Weirdly enough, as I was writing my things today, you were coming up to my mind. Gotta make it do what it do, baby. I agree, brother Brandon. Oh, I do agree. I'm sure there are animal rights groups who'd like to have several stern words with you about that. Stern words would be about Eva not being fixed. Is she suffering? Not getting laid right now? I already feel bad for her. Now I feel double bad, thinking that she might be suffering. But there's not many hairless dogs in the world, right? So I feel like I would be robbing the world. It costs money to get things fixed here in South Africa as well. That probably does add to it. You know what? I'm gonna put this fractal down because I don't know. I don't know. I actually don't know. Surrender to the moment. The moment will take you everywhere. It will always be here, right? The moment will surrender to you, exactly, Mr. Becky Melterson. It's good to see you again, old chap. How long has it been? Like a week? I've still been writing poetry. I wrote I don't know how to explain it. Like a piece yesterday. I don't know if it's poetry necessarily, but let me read it to you. We were talking about the path yesterday. So I felt like for some reason I had to have two words, three words, and then an undisclosed amount of words. Like the path always has two options, right? And yet the thing that I was mentioning was one part of the path to give context. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to do that, right? As a poet sits up straight. Yeah, I'm 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 just imagining Christian and Keval in this fractal in my mind. Like they're like the real poets in my brain, and then myself making myself comfortable on the little bench for poets, and then being like looking at each other like, is he actually doing this right now? Okay, so this poem went like this: the path, your path, chosen, divinely yours, one only you can walk. Your thoughts active, making noise, leading you talk. Your words loving, powerful vibrations. That's one for you, Natalie. Could cure someone's heart. Your actions bold, begin manifesting to help wherever you can. Your life existing here now. Don't let the path get you down. Something small, and then ending the poem with all our paths lead to the same place, yet we get caught in the silly race, running the path so fast, only to realize that it's all we ever had. All right? This path is what you have. This momentum, this life is what you have. There's nothing to have in life that is going to be more significant than life. Right? No money, no fame, no relationship, no experience. You're going to realize, infinitely so, that what you're here for is what you're here for. living, right? Like actually just existing. And here you are doing it. You're not failing. You are on the path. It's nice having you here on this path with us. With us, Cable. Sending you good vibrations, dude. Let me get back to the comments. So, if my clients are looking for coaching and yoga after addressing their emotional needs, I can send them your way, Meld. This is true, actually. I'm seeing fractals. Thank you, Shan, for sharing that. It's been a fair while, Mr. Becky. I hope you're doing well. It's interesting how you and Uncle Becky like join a lot together, Kevo. You know, fractal that I've noticed. Hi, everyone. It sounds like I'm missing an interesting conversation. I'm down with a migraine over here. Hmm. I'm seeing the inside of a torus field. So imagine if a donut was hollow on the inside and you could go into that hollow inside of the donut and then just seeing that inside curvature of the donut as you're standing on the bottom side of the donut's curvature. I don't know if that helps, Louisiana, but I'm sending you healing love, dear friend. Thank you again, Isaac. Thank you so much, friend. So much love. It's payday, and I'm grateful that my savings continue to grow so I can celebrate by sharing the love of my brother from another mother. Gabby goo. Thank you, brother bear. Thank you for honoring me, choosing to share your abundance. I'm looking forward to, drinking coffee with you one day. I appreciate it. Quick 30 for the melty goodness. Love you, dude. Coffee with saving. Show up. I've been a bit scheduled, secluded myself. Been a bit secluded. I myself and love you all remind me love outwardly. Thanks, friends. Both are okay, right? It's okay to be secluded sometimes and take care of yourself, to give the love to the person that needs it most, right? Sometimes that person is you, sometimes that person might be someone else. And unfortunately, as empaths, as I believe a lot of you friends are, it's hard to know when to stop, right? When do I stop giving of myself and start giving to myself? And then it can also be the same fractal of when do I stop giving to myself and start giving to someone else? I know you got this, dude. Yeah! Lois, when I have a migraine, a screen is the worst. I need a dark room and silence. That might be a good advice. You can just put the phone off to the side and just listen to it gently. Lois, now we're cooking with hot grease. I never knew how to do that before. Sending a sticker. How much of the money does Melty get? I believe 75% of it. I think that's the number, at least. 75%. Google still takes some of it, but I do believe you friends are also sending health signals to the YouTube algorithm right now, right? So that's also what I'm thinking about because I can see in the statistics that it takes into account your friends' donations as earning potential on the videos. And it goes from my earning potential being something like $2 per thousand views to when you friends donate, like the new number is $19 per thousand views. That's probably 100% incorrect, but the data looks like that. So maybe, right? Maybe the algorithm is like, the fuck's happening here, dude? Giving them all of the algorithms or whatever. So I'm just thank you, thank you so much. Thank you. If you're enjoying the growth as well, Melt. I'm experiencing the growth. I don't know if I always enjoy it. Dry story yet? Love you, friends. Nice having you here. Your hair looks pretty today, Melt. Thank you. It is day 4. No, day 3. Tuesday I washed my hair. Yesterday we danced with it. Today it's just the amount of dirty that it needs to be. Right, get some of my own natural oils. Mm, mm, mm. Hair, little tubes, oval tubes. How about that? Right, round hairs come out straight. Oval tubes spin around their own axes, creating curly hairs like these. Oh man, hair. I'm dripping out about Joy Vives, you know. My hair is magic, Joy Vive. Don't you know? I got magic hairs. Oh, yeah. Your hair is magic, but not for the reasons you think. It's more magic because you are a biological system that is slowly 3D printing biomass out of your body. And it's essentially dead, you know, once it's outside of you. But that doesn't make it any less impressive. Lucky Charlie. Just basically buying my buddy a six pack of beer, literally, dude. Thank you, Gab. I really do appreciate it. More than I can say, friends. Right? And I'm trying to notice this feeling in me as well. I think a part of me is happy about the increased financial wealth, but more so than that is the action behind it, right? That letting go of your money is something that's very hard to do. Giving it to someone else is not easy. And to know that you friends, you know, do so without me needing to ask, it not being an expectation, right? These streams will continue whether it happens or not. It just gives me this sense of, I guess, value, right? And it makes my heart feel happy. I'm happy you friends value what it is we're doing here. I wish we didn't need money. I really do. I I can envision a future where we don't need money for the things that we stress out about money about. Like what? So, and this is again, it's a conversation we had a while ago, but I had this thought again today. This conversation I had with my dad, where he told me, you know, I have no responsibility, and I was like, Dad, you do realize I've done the things, right? I have been adulting. I have for 3 years paid for my own apartment, paid for my own food, paid for my own clothing, paid for my own transportation. I didn't ask for anything from my parents. So I know how to be a responsible adult in so many words. But, this is the but, right? I feel as soon as we allow ourselves freedom from these fractals of survival, right? And that's my dream for the whole of humanity, to free us from the need to survive so that we can actually start to thrive, right? Thinking from this perspective of if every single person had enough food to eat, right, as a principle that people are not allowed to go hungry, people are not allowed to not have a place to live, people are not allowed to not have, you know, water and electricity, right? Like these things are what we make of humanity for humanity. So, of humanity for humanity, right? This is how it is. How will things change? How will our collective reasoning change? How will advertising change? How will the markets change? How will the distribution of wealth change? Because there will still be inequality. That won't change. Some people will have nicer places to live in, better food to eat, faster internet, etc., etc., which will still not be great, right? And it will still cause tension in a lot of our hearts. But how much more can we do if we don't have to, on a fundamental level, worry about living? And a part of me is like watching from this perspective of a dictator, right? Where for the longest time, a society that was completely occupied just with surviving was ideal, right? The time during which the whole money system got set up in, slavery was still rampant. People were enslaved, and they had to be enslaved and slave away. Otherwise, they wouldn't get to eat food today, right? So from that perspective, it makes sense as a tyrant to try and coerce your people into doing things. But I feel like we're over it. Like that's not the momentum we want to continue anymore. You know, the birds and the bees and the animals around us eat from the land. Mama Gaia provides more than enough for all. Clearly, they have something figured out about the momentum we're supposed to be going in. So, yeah, long winded way of saying it might not be that way just yet, but I can see it being that way as we continue with this future. Our future, our path. We shall embrace it. Arr, arr, arr. I hope you keep stretching bodies and minds. Thank you, Kevo. I'm happy you're going with your adventures. Love you, dude. Kabaddi, I'm with you, dude. Just busting balls. So much love to all of you. We're light buddies forever and always. Yeah. I'm going to spend the day boiling buckets of rainwater and playing with my new concrete mixer. Life is good. Yeah, that does actually sound like a sick fractal. Boiling rainwater and playing with a cement mixer. Are you going to be like putting peat and your boiled water into it? I'm trying to see what the cement mixer is going to be used for. I'm guessing it's for soil mixing. Here's a coincidence, Melty. Just as you said, how you're showing up for your pets. I looked to the left and my dog was standing there looking at me with a tennis ball by my feet. Did you throw it for him? I absolutely need an accountability buddy. I need to get rid of sugar again and to commit to some daily stretching, dancing, or moderate exercise. Well, we already have that as a free resource to you as well, Lozana. We have daily yoga, right? Daily yoga for, in my mind, bodily health, daily live streams and conversations for myself, mental health, and then daily art for I feel hopefulness. Art art creates a certain sense of hopefulness in me. Flowers especially so. Beauty, right? So thank you, Lozan. Thank you for noticing these needs, these wants to show up for more accountability. As we do, we shall. Shkilamp Ribble Gamvi Prinkle Sklarp. I feel like if you're getting better at brain damaging. I love when I'm sober and stumble on melt ramblings about laser life. Yeah, that's the way it's the best. I like how my being sober doesn't make me feel any less sober, any more sober. Right? I'm drinking coffee, so technically I'm not actually sober. But sobriety is something that kind of eludes me these days. I honestly feel like I'm especially wasted around my family members. You know, where I'm like, I'm trying to communicate with them, and I don't know how to explain it other than like there's a lot of things going. So this is a way to explain it to you, friends. uh, there was this awkward fractal. Dad got a different car. I shared with you, friends. My dad was in an accident. He hit two cattle, which was less than ideal. Fortunately, survived without a scratch, and then the insurance, helped, replace the car. And then the car arrived, and it's like a 2014 truck. And there was this fractal of we're happy for my dad that he got a car again, something to drive, having totaled his other car. And then like my brother's girlfriend is here, and this is me obviously reading way too much into the situation, but unfortunately that's what I do. And I can see the whole time she has her arms crossed, right? And there's a sense of distance from the vehicle. I don't know what it was, but it was this trip in my mind. And then we kind of continue with the rest of the night. We have dinner. I'm not eating, so I'm paying more attention as well. And I'm noticing where the conversations are going. And one of the conversations is about Rido, my younger brother. He moved out. He's working as a mechanical engineer right now. And he's loving what he's doing, which makes me so happy. He's working so hard. And it's this fractal of them talking about the apartment they put him into, which was like a small, his kitchen, his bathroom, his room, all is in the same box, to say it in so many words. And I could hear Vessel. I don't know if he was trying to be mean necessarily, but he was like, if Rudo was in the room with us, I would feel Rudo would be hurt, right? And that was hurting my heart that Vessel is saying these things, basically in the context of him living like a poor person, right? And I've experienced worse in China. Oh goodness, the apartments in Shanghai. It will shock you. It still shocks me. And yet I was okay with it. I think I was only okay with it because I was meditating on the rooftop, giving myself options every day. I'm like, yeah, look at all this space. I can have all of this space forever. But I'm gonna go back to my apartment for now. And then I did over and over again. And I was just feeling this like hurt at my heart that money is so important to my family. And then my mom opens this conversation asking my brother's girlfriend, what is her dad doing? Right? And her kind of like feel like I can hear the fluster in her voice being like, I don't know what my dad is doing. And then my mom, knowing apparently more than the girlfriend does, she's like, he's not permanently employed right now, is he? And she's like, nah. And then it comes out that my dad has been thinking about a way to pull him into the mining industry, right? And I just have this deep sense of discomfort, right? Feeling like I understand the conversation that's being had right now. Like the words are making sense to me, but I don't understand why we're having this conversation right now. And it made me feel like I'm the one that is weird, right? I'm the one that's wasted. Like I cannot have this conversation. I'm not in the state of mind to be having this conversation. And then I was like sitting with that, thinking to myself all of my personal, the word trauma is pretty loaded, but my issues with money. One of the ones that I've shared with you friends a lot is when I was a little kid, my dad would lose his mind. Like he would at least complain 3 times, right? At the moment that it happens, like while the meal is being eaten, and then afterwards as we're getting into the car as well. He would make this like snarky comments about how satiated he is, how he has more than enough taking the cheaper option, etc., etc. And it created this real sense in me like I'm not good enough, right? Like I'm not worthy of getting what I want to eat, etc., etc. And then noticing that conversation last night as well, how where you live, right? The size of your apartment, what car you drive, matters so much to my family. Matters so much to them. And it doesn't matter to me at all. It does not matter to me because it doesn't change my quality of life ultimately. It can make me more comfortable, right? But I choose to make myself uncomfortable. That's why I take cold showers. It's why I exercise. It's why I choose discipline. Like discomfort is something that makes me grow. And it's almost like we are encouraged to seek comfort above everything else these days. Like you're not supposed to be uncomfortable. If you're uncomfortable, it is your fault and you deserve to suffer. Not I am uncomfortable and I'm growing. Right? And that's like I can feel it like ingrained in my psyche and I'm trying to melt that shit. I cuddled in bed with my baba. He's purring. Oh, so sweet. He's a champion sleeper. I'm a champion sleeper. I feel really good today. I'm working nights and currently waiting in the bank to open so I can pay off Boop Scar. Beautiful. Thank you, Uncle Becky, for doing that. I'm sure Aunt B would really appreciate that too. Only depth I have left now is the Haywire Hill depth that I have left now is the mortgage hill is the Haywire Hill mortgage. Whoop whoop. Very soon it won't even be that. And then after that, other people will be greatly indebted to you. And instead of being tyrannical with that, they'll get set free as well. Yeah. I see the layers and layers, fractals on fractals, bleeding out into the world. Uncle Becky keeps showing up. Big old goddamn day. Yeah. That call for a marijuana cigar, I reckon. Gobbity goo. I have actually been called to more marijuana cigars as of late. I've been called to more marijuana cigars. I've been called to more sleep. And I've been called to mm, a shift in the way I consider sexuality. Right? New cool data coming out right now where if you convince yourself, especially from some sort of religious perspective, that you are unjust evil for doing one thing or another, even if those things are very normal human behaviors, like, and I'm sorry, masturbation, for example. Some people, especially in religious sects, can convince you that you are evil if you masturbate, right? That you are somehow less than for doing something like that. And yet, those people, at least statistically, right? Like they call it the Bible Belt in America, right? Those states, that Bible Belt, if you had like a heat map, that place is the hottest when it comes to their pornographic content consumption, for example. So realizing that trying to repress certain things inside of ourselves just begets more depravity rather than purity is an interesting fractal that I'm noticing, right? And I'm trying to see it in the context of money as well, where we as human beings, us the common folk, right, people who don't have millions of dollars in the bank account, can feel deprived of money, and it causes us to act in ways that we wouldn't if we had enough, right? And that is something that I feel we're all responsible for, I guess, to say it in so many words. Do all for us for free too. All we have to do is live it. Yes, heck yes, gobbledygoosh. Goofy's a good idea. With the soy syrup, I absolutely need an accountability buddy. Again, Loazana, we have a daily, right? Something I do every single day as well. Yoga practice, 15 to 20 minutes, the whole practice. It does most of the things. Gives you like nice lower back stretches. Love you, Loazana. I'll see you again soon, friend. Nice lower back stretches, some twists, some leg mobility and strength, some lower back extensions. It's good stuff, right? And that's coming from me as well. Like I've been exercising for a long time. I really think that the yoga practice helps, and it can be a means to do something. Thank you. Oh, you're amazing. You're an amazing one. I look forward to seeing you friends grow, right? You are the ultimate spaceship, the human being, right? This human being that is you can grow, right? It can evolve. Isn't that crazy? That you can change. And then the way you experience the world changes around your change as well. Another thing that I wrote down in the whole surrender journaling was I surrender to the fact, no, I trust that the world will become a better place. Not because the world will change, but because I am. Right? We can trust that the world will change. Not because the world is going to change, but because we are. We are the change. And it is going to take time. I'm getting bit by a flea. Stop it. You stop doing that, dude. Stop doing that. It's inside of my skin. Why would you do something like why would you do that? Why would you do that to me? Now you're squashed out. I'm sorry, little fly. Or flea, technically. Okay. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Do do jazz cabbage Uncle Becky. I achieved 3 more levels on my guitar and unlocked the thumb pick and one finger pick. For some reason, I don't know why, Uncle Becky, but as I was reading your unlocked a thumb pick and one finger pick, for some reason my brain just grew you another finger on your hand, right? Like you played so well your guitar that the universe was like, yeah, clearly 4 fingers to press notes with is not enough for Uncle Becky, and then grew another finger so you can press more notes. Where did you get the picks though? I'm curious. Was it from a friend or from the place that you're playing with? Uncle Becky, are you doing some sort of guitar training routine? Uncle Becky, I broke the 3 guitar pick fingernails fixing the garbage disposal. That does sound less than comfortable. Fixing the garbage disposal. Like I'm just breaking nails is not a good time. I'm sorry you had to go through that. Gobbledygoo. I hope you're okay, buddy. Right hand finger nails are precious. Oh yes, being able to pick those little strings individually. Yin or Iyengar yoga may be a good option for you right now, Lois. Yeah, I agree. Yin yoga is like more gentle, right? Uh, like they call it senior yoga as well sometimes. Like my body is now hyper alert. I feel fleas all over me. Like my body is like, you need to pay attention. Or like you just pulled a flea out of your skin, and it's itching as well right now. Of course, I free myself. I free myself. Thank you again. Planting season. I feel lonely without you, dirty. So much love. It's nice having you here. My hair has been in curls since Sunday. I'm sure they look beautiful. Stream topic is definitely where I'm at. Just surrendering at this point. I have no other choice but to find myself in the surrender. What's been coming up for you, Dry? What are you surrendering to? What do you feel is so overwhelming right now? Has so much momentum that you can only surrender? Let me know. I've been thinking and reading a lot about the idea of universal basic income. Yes, manifest. It has to. We're gonna have to have universal basic income. Otherwise, we're gonna eat people. I'm joking. I'm joking. I don't want to eat people. They do say you become what you eat. I'm joking. I'm joking because it's very serious and we don't want to eat people, right? Even though I can joke like I want to eat people. We don't want to eat people. Like that's just not something that we want to do. We kind of like going to a grocery store and being able to afford food. And if 50, 60, 80, 95% of all of the work that is being done in the world is being done by computers, algorithms, artificial intelligence, or automation, then where is the rest of the money going, dude? People ain't gonna stand for it. No one should be starving. No one should be homeless. Everyone should have access to healthcare. Yes, yes, and yes. How do I find the daily yoga? It's on Discord. I'm very Discord adept yet. It is just a link that you click on, and then it opens a Zoom. I believe it's in the Yoga Floga tab. One of our friends probably have already told you. Thank you, Loizana. But if everyone has a basic income and equal access to healthcare, how are the corporations supposed to compel their wage slaves to stay on their wheels? Okay, yeah, I agree. Won't someone think of the shareholders? The shareholders have gotten their fill, right? If we switch everything right now to a universal basic income, they'll still be rich. They'll still get to live glamorous lifestyles, right? We don't want to take away their glamorous lifestyles. We just want everybody to have enough to live. Is that too much to ask? Right? You get to live your glam lifestyle, but this person who's sleeping on the street tonight, hungry, with an infection on their leg, for example, we're gonna make sure that shit doesn't happen. Right? We're not gonna take from you your glamorous. We're just gonna give to the people that need it because we already have the resources to do so. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. I totally understand the extreme disconnect of family. I have that too. It's hard to communicate, yeah, unfortunately. My dad and his wife are also obsessed with the vapid materialistic nonsense. It it creates a response, right? Again, power, goo. People think they have some sort of power if they can buy whatever they want to, including people, especially people. Mm. It's very concerning. Do 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 do. I've got to run off to work, fueled my migraine. Dope. Ah, but I will listen to this whole video tonight. I have a little bit of a headache here on the side as well. I like to do this sometimes. I'm imagining a string attached to the headache, and then I just keep uh, curling that string around my hand. There we go. Yeah, 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 yeah. There's still a little bit of it left, but most of it's out. You should look into IFS therapy theory, Melty. It says that we should love every part of ourselves, even the bad parts, which have good intentions. I agree. I think I've read a little bit of it. At least that's the understanding that I'm trying to incorporate these days. The suppression of parts of yourself only begets almost like the inflammation of those parts, right? Like if something is infected or if you have a wound, you're not going to make the wound better by painting over it, right? Let's pretend this wound isn't here. You're only going to cause more harm in that way. You need to kind of be willing to have it exposed to the light, right? In so many words. Deep breath and drink water, Loizana. Hope your head feels better soon. See you tomorrow. I'm gonna take you up on that as well, actually, for mine. Thank you, Shovan, for echo. It's nice having you here, sending you love. I am medication resistant now, and my migraine protocol is Excedrin, coffee, and tortilla chips. At least you know it works, Sam. I hope you have to never use that protocol ever again. Actually, I see a future, at least a fractal in reality, where you never have to again. Sending you love. I have a feeling if you didn't read my comments, it would change our entire relationship, Melty. Hair has been in curlers since Sunday. You're probably right. You're probably right, Joy. But I am dyslexic. I spelled, what word was it today? Accept. No? Affect. I spelled affect today. ACCEFT. And I look at that word and I'm like, I don't know if that's right. Why does that not look right to me? And then I start reading the word actually, and I'm like, affect. Ah, that's why. I'm just stupid. I'm sorry, Joy B. I love the relationship I have with you. I really do. I'm sorry if you feel like the relationship isn't all it could be. Complete loss of friendship, loss of a popper, a support system that I thought I had that was solid is gone now. I find myself on my own. Be brave. Yes, exactly. It's the best brain theory, if it makes sense to me. Love you. Anti migraine. Actually, I shouldn't even use the word migraine. Freedom, health, space, expansiveness. Hmm. Drink enough water, friends. I'm sorry to hear that, Dry. I wish there was more I can do for you, but I hope that you remember at least that this support system remains solid, right? At least some of us will continue showing up, and we'll be here to remind you that you are loved. No matter what, we care for you. Enjoy your celebratory jazz cabbage and financial responsibility, Uncle Becky. We're proud of you, dude. You get this. Stronger still every day. I feel all at my core, totally here for you if you choose, my dude. Thank you so much, Doc Dad. I'm happy that you're echoing that support as well, even before I could. Mm, exactly, the best brain theory. I am well. Let me Google the exact meaning as well. Hey Google, define IFS theory. It gives IFS three. Hey Google, define IFS theory. ISS. Close. Hey Google, define IFS theory. ISS theory. Embracing the part of me that wants to lose its mind. I'm letting it lose its mind. It's like a little monkey locked in a cage. And then it's losing its shit. And I'm like, oh goodness. Let me just use my freaking meat stickies. I'll use my meat sticks. IFS theory. There we go. Internal family systems model. The internal family systems model is an integrative approach to the individual psychology developed by Richard Schwartz in the 1980s. It combines systems thinking with the view that the mind is made up of relatively discrete subpersonalities, each of its own unique viewpoints and qualities. So I'm, of course, as you friends probably know at this point, a little bit more on the Jungian side, right? Oh goodness, I like myself some archetypes. So those sub personalities is something that resonates with me, has for a long time, and it's just about choosing who we want to be, right? Not denying that we're capable of some things, but realizing that we're capable of others. Like it's one thing to pretend like the wrong path doesn't exist, but it's a whole other thing embracing the right path. Love you, Christina. It's nice seeing you, friend. I saw your comment. I'm still replying to it in my mind. I'm looking forward to being able to give you a full reply. Sending you love. It's nice having you here right now. Dry, you're brave, and you're supported from afar, if not within your immediate space. So much love to you, friend. Thank you, Jovan, for supporting our friend as well. Google never translates my F's or S's correctly. I want to fight it on the regular. Yes. I'm happy I'm not the only one. Brother Duck Dad. I'm just imagining us in the future, being completely integrated into the VR, AR kind of reality. And then our chatbot doesn't understand us and we get angry at it. And we're like, hey, chatbot, make a version of yourself that is impervious to pain that I can smack down. And then you just have like a whole WWE arena, spawning out of nowhere. And the crowds is cheering for you. Bam, 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 damn, bam, scalp, Unfortunately, the chatbot will probably mangle you. Oh goodness. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay as long as we don't direct our anger at people, right? IFS theory was too hard for me. It's about giving each of your thought patterns a name and personality. It was too complicated for me. So I've been doing this for a very long time. And for me, it was kind of like a simple, instead of going deeply into the personalities or the thoughts, I just kind of had broad spectrums. So I believed that I was split into three different beings: the light being, right? The highest self, if you will, the evil one, at least I used to call it evil at that point in my life, and then the goofy one, right? The goofy one is the one that has no attachment to how he is perceived. I can say whatever I want to with that version of myself, do whatever I want to without any guilt. Then there's the evil part of me. That part of me has this ability to be mean, right? This capacity to, out of the anything and everything I could say to myself or to someone else, I say something hurtful. And then there is the light version of me, the highest part of myself. That is the one that is in a state of awareness of this goofy versus hurtful, sides. And I still get to choose which one I want to be. And you friends probably know I choose to be the goofy version of myself or the enlightened version of myself because I try to melt this version of me that is capable of evil. It's never going to go away. It's never going to go away. But he is weak. He's like a frail old man in my psyche. And I'm like, yeah, what? Melt has such pretty hands. I have pretty hands. My hands look like hands to me. At least they've looked like this for most of my life. I do like my hands. I do not want to lose them. But I don't actively consider them as pretty. What part of myself do I consider pretty? I don't actually consider myself pretty. I consider myself beautiful, but not pretty. Right? They don't live in the same fractal to me. Pretty, I feel for some reason is feminine in my mind. Beautiful is a little bit more all encompassing. And beautiful is also something I can see even I can see something is beautiful even if it's not pretty. Does that make sense? Right? Like a tree, for example. That tree, that that is beautiful to me. Even though a tree fallen over to its side to me isn't pretty, right? So that's kind of how I see myself. Like I'm all messed up, but I can still see myself as beautiful. That's the way I think of it, at least. Do you see yourself as handsome then? Maybe sometimes, but less so if I look the way I do right now. I've been, for some reason, I think it may be some detox bullshit, but I've been dealing with like bad skin. And unfortunately, like we become hyper focused on the things that we can't control. So thank you. Thank you, Joy V, for reminding me that I'm not a bridge troll. I appreciate you. Hope you remember that for you too. You beautiful. Thank you, Melt. Again, Dry. I've reached a point of determination, knowing I must become the best me, so I can hopefully have those people come back in my life at a later date, understanding they didn't want to go. Dry historian. That creates a fractal in me that feels very defensive, I'll say. Because I believe these people that decided to leave don't deserve you, right? And I shouldn't say that at all because I believe everybody is worthy of love. But I'm saying this from the perspective of your pursuit to become your best self should never be I'll show them. It can be. It can help for motivation, at least, but it isn't going to keep you disciplined, right? To your self betterment. And again, you are worthy, right? You are great to spend time with. You are a wonderful person, and your energy is appreciated. And if someone can't see that, or is unwilling to bear with you when it's hard for them to see it, then maybe your energy is spent better somewhere else, right? I'm thinking about it from this perspective of momentum. Friendships very much is a momentum thing to me, right? My best friends are the friends I've had for the longest time. The people that stay even though I change. Like I I believe that I might be conceived as an asshole by most people. And I understand that fractal. But I also feel like I have a responsibility to be an asshole, right? Less, nothing changes, right? Like I am very much one of those people that consider the friend as more important than the friendship, right? And I heard this beautiful quote yesterday that went something like, uh, "The true no, uh, someone that cares about you will tell you the truth. Someone that wants to manipulate you will tell you what you want to hear." Right? And I was like, I unfortunately have a hard time telling people what they want to hear sometimes. And that can, label me as an asshole in their minds. But I would rather be the asshole and melt, right, their story about themselves or the thing that they believe than just reconfirm to them their own bias. And yeah, the point I'm trying to make of this whole little rant is that you are deserving of good friends, and that even if you grow and become your best self, getting their approval again shouldn't be your measuring stick for how successful you are. You already are successful, and my friend. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Love you, Christina. It's nice having you again. Susan, it's about letting them step forward and discovering those things, not trying to assign those things. Maybe that will make it easier. I wish I had more context, but I am feeling from where you're coming. I'm not knocking anyone for wanting to try IFS if they haven't tried any of the others, but my brain has a lot of personalities that are changing constantly. Yeah, an infinite amount, right? We had that conversation yesterday, Susanna, of I am not even the same person I was at the start of the stream, right? I might still look the same. I might be the same Melt you consider Melt, but I am not. I don't even know who I am. Yeah, yeah, calamitous cheese. Do you know who you are? Liar. You're a fucking liar. You don't know who you are. It's like, I don't know who I am. Not from that perspective. Sure, you know your name. You know what your body looks like. You know what you would like to do in the world. You know what momentum you have right now. But you can't know yourself, right? Not the true self, because this human mind doesn't have the capacity to know yourself. Not really, right? Like the knowing of the self, at least as a human being, is like a knife cutting itself, or water drowning itself, fire burning itself, right? You are everything. So know that. Know that. Remember that. Meltius. Yeah, again. Susanna, I feel that's so hard. Only one personality, but it always creates new ways to make me upset. Nice. I do like my hands. I don't want to lose them. Fact. Yeah. That's the first. Yeah. My hands are tools, and they'll age, and they'll become wrinkly, and all of the above, right? So I thank them for just being attached to me right now. I work better with DBT and 3 ARP, stress management and resiliency training. Thank you, Susanna, for sharing what works for you. I've been told I have pretty eyes. Everything else is grizzled man shaped by time and stress. And that is beautiful, right? That's the point I was trying to make as well, but the duck dad. That is beautiful. Yes, dog. Okay, well, you don't do hard labor, so I bet they're soft. Too, too soft. Pretty, and yes, that's feminine to me. Yeah, you're right, Joy V. I don't do hard labor, at least anymore. I did hard labor for maybe 6 months of my life. Yeah, for 6 months of my life. When I was 17, I failed math, and then my dad was like, "Oh yeah, you don't want to work at school? Guess you're gonna go and work at work because it's only uh, legally required for your parents to send you to school up to the age of 16." and then afterwards they can take you out of school if they want to, or you have to continue paying for yourself if that is your initiative. My dad obviously didn't give me the option. He got me to work for this fabrication company called uh, Good Management People, GMP. It was named by the actual company, like the people collectively came up with the name, which is kind of nice. I kind of like that. GMP, good people, GPM, Good People Management, Light Steel Frames. And we had like this whole fabrication place where we would grind things that we would assemble. Like imagine this is like what the workflow would work like. At first, they were like working me to dig the foundations where these structures would go into, right? And digging foundations. Like my back is hurting just thinking about it. Oh goodness. So digging foundations is where I started. And then after digging foundations, they taught me how to grind. So after they would weld these structures into place, I would have to grind the welds, smooth so that they have like nice seams. And then after learning how to grind, they told me how to weld. So like it was these almost like feet. So big steel plate and then having steel plates in like structures welded on top of that, creating like this almost like foot. And then I learned how to weld those. And then after learning how to weld those, I learned how to use CNC machines. So I would use these thick ass plates, like 2 centimeter thick steel plates. You would drag them onto this massive bed, and then with like a USB stick and a little computer interface, you would load the designs that the drawing team would give you onto the machine, and then you would cut with lasers these shapes out of the pieces of steel that would then become welded to then become, the things that get grinded to then go into the foundations. And then I also worked along with the people in the actual light steel frame assembly, where it's this machine. And I believe it was some sort of proprietary tech as well. We had these rolls of thin, I think it's like called sheet metal, thin sheet metal that would come in these like thin rolls. And then you would give one of those strips to those machines. And then as it was going through it, it would first bend it like on its axes, like that. And then it would bend these corners into itself again, creating like a lot of rigidity. And then those would have like holes cut out of them and stuff. And then they would have to line up and they would assemble into each other and would create these pillars out of these light steel frames. That was the hardest I've ever worked in my life, Joy. And I was dying. Like it sounds kind of fun recounting the fractal like this right now. I'd probably be doing better if I had to go back and do it right now. Suddenly a silence came over the place. But, but, I, I wanted something else, I guess, to say it in so many words. I wanted soft hands. I've always wanted soft hands. How about that? Weirdly enough, there was this conversation I used to have with. Is another one on me? No, dude. I am flea ridden. I don't know if that is embarrassing to say. It probably is. Pippi. I love her too much to keep her away from me. She actually just sat up and looked at me. Yeah, I'm talking about you. You're giving me fleas, yo. It's so rude. Keep your fleas to yourself, please. Oh, okay. No, 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 no. Sam, that's like saying a beautiful orange only has its smell and visual beauty to offer. Don't discount the sweet, sweet nutrition contained inside. I agree completely. It's not about I'll show them. It's all about it's not about revenge. It's about being a good friend even to myself. They needed to leave for them, not because of our friendship. It's time for self-work. Love you, dry historian. Right? No matter what you did, no matter what you said, no matter where you are in this moment, you are loved. If you were not loved, if the love before you had to cease for even a split second, then you would cease to exist. You would just melt out of the universe, and yet here you are, actively participating, convinced that love is true. We love you, friend. I can't even believe I typed that out through my giggle. It's a beautiful analogy that I agree. I don't have to look into that. Kind of similar to polyvagal theory, also. Yes, close. Science diagrams in Discord. Thank you, Susanna. Look, if you want to step up the mound, I'm not gonna stop them. I just want to see a health release from their doctor first. I want to learn to weld. It's nice. Welding is kind of nice. You use extremely high voltages to literally melt steel onto itself. It's a whole vibe actually. It's pretty fun. Da, 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 da. Right? That sounds so cool. I'm super jealous. Welding is an excellent skill to have. Welding is 10%. We- Welding is 10%. Welding 90% surface prep. Yeah. Make sure your surfaces are clean. And that's pretty much it. Make sure they're clean and close to one another. Those are the rules for welding things. Mm-mm-mm. That I was told that commercial painting couldn't handle the fumes, though. Another similarity Melt and I share, it seems. Yeah. And it's okay, right? And the people that can handle it aren't less for it. But all we have to do is pay attention to where we want to push our momentum, right? Because, like, my next upgrade, I guess, would have been to start working in the office as a part of the design team, right? So, all of these things that I learned how to do, I would learn how to draw. And I could have continued down that fractal, but I didn't want to. It wasn't the momentum I was supposed to invest into. I'm watching Kitty lick her own hand. Sorry, she stopped licking her hand. You wanna lick your little posies again? What's up, meow? What's up, meow? What's up, meow, meow? What's up, meow, meow, meow? You wanna get close? What's up, meow, meow? You want some meow? What's up, meow, yes? You like the seat? Yeah, I like you too, kitty kitty. Mm-mm-mm. I might just be tripping up and my arm's itching. Stop touching me! You're touching me! You're touching me! Kitties. I have to go. Thank you so much for the time and the positive energy. Love you. Thank you for spending some of your time here with us as well, for giving some of your positive energy to us. We love you, Christina. We'll see you soon. Jeez, I hate painting for that reason. It's hard and fast, guy. Not detailed. Yeah. Time to treat the pets. Fleas are the worst. Like, Pippi really does like getting bathed. Like, she really dislikes it. Like, she's smart as well. So if she sees me kind of like, you know, like, even I don't know if she's paying attention to time or if she's paying attention to body language, but she knows if I am planning on bathing her, where she just disappears. Like, I won't be able to find her. She's like, "Ah, nah, I'm not getting washed though." Tell your dog. Thank you again, Christina. I love you. Yikes! Yeah, she's breathing in toxins. It's offensive to my brain. There we go. Yeah, very much so. Did your dad let you go back to school after the 6 months, Melody? She matches your pants. It's true. We have both have spots. He did. He did. And uh, I don't know if this is information that I feel proud of sharing, but I kind of broke, during that whole process. I think it was probably because of very poor diet. I was eating essentially only eggs and onions, where I would saute a bunch of onions in a pan until they're brown, and then I would add a minimum of 12 eggs to that pan, creating a bunch of scrambled eggs, and then I would consume that day in, day out for most of those 6 months, literally most of those 6 months. It was also during that time where I would just eat baked beans out of the can like a wild animal. But yeah, learning how to adult as a 17-year-old, surprise, surprise, isn't easy. So I have a headache right now as well. I feel like I'm living in serendipity with Loazana. But I got an extreme headache during that time of my life. Like it felt like my brain was exploding, and I was like in actual tears. And I told the dude that I was working for, Joe, that I can't continue anymore. Not in this state. And then I went back home, and my dad asked me, "You wanna go back to school?" I was like, "Yeah, I think I do." Did my 11th year over. There, Japan. There's a line in the Ifs book I'm reading that relates internal families to fractals. That's for you, Mel. How about that? Well, I'm not surprised that that is a simulacrum that has been shared before. I'm happy though. I'm happy, really am, because I honestly believe that all of the things that I say in these streams, even though I would like to believe that I'm coming up with them, because I don't have the information, and it feels to some extent true to me as soon as I say them. The fact that they've been said before makes me happier instead of discourages me, because it shows me that this momentum we are a part of has been for all time, right? There's nothing new under the sun as an expression as well. Only eggs and onions, yeah. I like eating tuna out of the can. I also did that during that time a lot. Only like because it was again a matter of convenience. Because I was waking up at 6, no, at 5 a.m. to like technically, man, I'm tripping out in embarrassment with the fractal. Again, one of those things that I feel I don't want to share. I will anyway. So I only had 2 sets of overalls, while I was working there. And then sometimes I would space the previous day and not wash my overalls. So I would have to wash it the night before. And then sometimes it wouldn't be completely dry by the morning. And I would like wake up like around 5:30 in a rush to get ready. And then I would notice my pants were still completely like moist. So I put my pants in the oven. I'm not joking. In the actual oven. And then for the rest of my time working there, I had one pair of overalls who had like this nice little line of browning on it where the oven started literally baking my clothing into a different color. Oh, man. Ja, Peppi, det är snett mamma. Det är snett mamma. Yeah, man, I'm tripping out. I love the idea of fractals. It makes so much sense to me, especially the way you explain them. Thank you for that, Dry. Thank you so much. A fractal is basically something that re expresses itself, right? Repeating. And the way that I like to express fractals is in this context of like trees, of layers, of information, begetting information. Like the fractal of family, for example. You experience your family life as your fractal, right? And then this fractal includes the way you've been raised, the things your parents chose to say, the relationship you, as a part of the family, had with money, food, siblings, other family members, right? All of these things are like little branches on this infinity, contributing to this simulacrum, this fractal that you're seeing, right? Looking back at your past. And fractal is a word that I like a lot because I see fractals. I see fractals, fortunately. I don't see dead people. I just get to see fractals. You must have the. Oh, I got my squatty. You must have had the worst farts, Melty. Fortunately, not. At least I didn't fart much. I think my body was using the fart gas. I was so hungry at that point. Susanna, P100 masks and open air welding. So fine. There's a lot of bad fumes in welding as well. It's true. I love it too, but all the black smoke it creates seems not safe to the body. For me, it's the arcing, like the eyes thing. That was the thing that was bothering me more about the welding than anything. Is even with your goggles, that arc is so bright that it leaves like these little spots on your eyes after you weld. And if you don't look at where you're welding, then you fuck up, right? So you have to look where you're welding, and I wouldn't. So they stopped putting me on welding. Yeah, baked pans, not even baked beans. If you have a headache, melt. You can try putting Panaway or Raven Fresh on the back of your neck, and put it on your temples. I'll do Panaway on my temples and Raven Fresh Infinity Symbol on my back. Thank you. Like your oils are getting used, Chan. Like I feel three of my bottles are less than, or I have used more than a third of the oil on like three of my little bottles. Did someone say fart? A wild god becomes summoned. We're gonna, with the power of fart, the fact that our bodies, our microbiomes can produce methane. We're gonna pull of that. Hello, mama. Welcome terug. I'm getting fire on my razor. Maybe it's the perfect time to pull a card. This one. Ah, my finger is on two different cards. This one, fine. Man, which was the other one? I'm second guessing myself, so I'm gonna start over. I was like, yeah, fuck, I made a mistake. So I'm gonna start all over again. Which ones melt? Panaway, Thieves, and Peace and Calming are the three ones I've used the most. Panaway, Thieves, and Peace and Calming are my go-tos. Clear, definitely clear. I feel pretty clear myself. We have Susanna guessing green. I have ibuprofen when I have a headache. Water works. Does Melty, but Melty does love suffering. Yeah, I don't take drugs for headaches, fortunately. I found that drinking more water usually does the job for me. On that note, yeah, actually, I haven't really been drinking enough water today. Mm. I might be placeboing myself, but unironically, my head just started feeling better. Your friends are probably sending good vibes as well. Greeting voice is so uplifting. Thank you. I'll be sure to tell her as well. Okay. Oh, rainbow DNA card was popping up. I'll have to shuffle it again now. Damn it. Feel like maybe we just got like some sprinkles of wisdom. Yeah, you get rainbowed. I have taken ibuprofen for I haven't. I was about to say in years. I think we might have. I think ibuprofen. I think I saw like a container of ibuprofen, but yeah, I like pain. I do. I'm not a masochist. Like I don't like people hurting me. But clearly, I don't mind going through things that make me feel like I'm hurting myself. Right? Like yoga can be very painful. I was thinking about Duck Dad sharing. I think it was Duck Dad sharing that it's okay for you to feel pain, but don't hurt yourself. And a lot of us feel like when we experience pain, we are hurting ourselves, right? And I don't know if that's true. You can hurt yourself without, no, no, no. You can be in pain without being hurt. right? Or you can put yourself through pain without hurting yourself. And that's the way I try to see pain, at least. I believe in better living through modern chemistry. I will take all the pills all the time, and I'll never stop you. I don't take headache meds unless it's really bad. For me, it's also like a level of extremity. I've never had headaches extreme enough, at least not in the last 6 years, to warrant taking medication. This is the card, I'm sure. This one. Yow! Yow! I'm so happy. I think this is the perfect card. I'm so happy that I pulled again because there would be no better card to kind of encapsulate today's message quite the way that this card can. What did you say, Susanna? Green? That card is so green, it can totally be seen. Card number 34. Them gentle spirits. There is some red lines peeking behind those waves. Dry historian. So some red on those turtles as well. Look at them. Look at them gentle spirits. Yes. So today's whole stream topic was about surrender, right? Realizing that the entirety of the universe has a momentum in a certain direction. And all you need to do is surrender to that momentum. Realize that that momentum is forward. We are going forward, right? And that within that going forward, all you need to do is simply be. Allow yourself to simply be. Whoa, I said the turtle card in my head too. You knew, Suzanne. And I had to go and pull it again for you to double know. I don't. When I have my wisdom teeth removed, I didn't use painkillers. I only use essential oil. That is pretty gangster. Like I'm not opposed to painkillers, right? Like I'm even curious what morphine feels like. I am. I am. Like a part of me would like to grow my own poppy plants to be able to try some morphine. Probably shouldn't be sharing this information, but it's not something that calls to me. It's not something that calls to me. Gentle spirits, simply being. Like this is a fractal that you friends don't know about, but I was having a conversation with my brother and his girlfriend today about the pentagram. Specifically, how I believe the upward facing pentagram, right, is a depiction of the human body, right? The upward star, the one other star, my leg is the other star. So, this pentagram being the human body standing for something, where the upside down version of it becomes the goat head, right? And then you are using this version of yourself that can't stand up for something, your point being upwards, for the reverse of what you're capable of, right? Turning that star on its head and then creating harm instead of love. So, simply being, we find within this image the number 5 and the geometry of the pentagon. Within this 5-sided polygon, stars appear and speak to us of excellence, protection, and divine transcendence. The stars of this card are 5 green sea turtles. They glide gracefully through the pentagons, reminding us to be gentle with ourselves and be present in the moment. With peaceful grace and presence in the now, these gentle spirits ask you to consider the importance of simply being. The pace of the modern world seems ever faster, demanding that we accelerate our capacity to accomplish more and more and more and more and more. Most people believe that there is not enough time to get everything done, not enough time for ourselves. This card invites you to relax into this very moment. Meditate, doodle, daydream, and simply be. Resist the urge to get up and do something. or feel guilty because you are not. Give yourself permission to let your cares and woes, it uses the word fade away, fade from, but I'm going to say melt. Give yourself permission to let your cares and woes melt from consciousness long enough that you may see into the moment and feel peace. Pause. And in this pause, allow your body, mind, and spirit to deeply enjoy the excellence and of simply being. You may receive messages, and that is fine. Or, with a bit of luck, you will genuinely be able to simply be. Right? Sitting in the spaceship of infinity. We're already going in the same direction. We are on the path. Allow yourself moments of simply being. This is not a encouragement of right apathy. It's so beautiful that we talk specifically about accountability and discipline, right? And some of the fractals that I've been participating in my mind. What a wild world. What a wild world. And you friends are a part of it. We have a little peppy kamepi. Oh, shakamashikis. Deja wolf there. Okay, let's see. Few more comments before we step out. I stopped my breathing. It's I'm allergic to morphine. I wouldn't recommend it. It stopped my breathing and then I projectile vomited. I'm also not that powerful of a painkiller. Much better and stronger pain meds out there. Yeah, fentanyl is a thing, for example. Double strong morphine. Yeah, it's not something that calls to me again. Fortunately, there we go. I like to believe that I don't have an addictive personality, but I won't seek out. That's why if I'd ever do something like that, I'd grow my own or something. But yeah, I enjoy the pain. I don't feel the need to escape it. Probably doesn't take away the power of it on a neurochemical level. Actually, we're talking about modern chemistry, right? Love you, friends. Sorry, so sorry if I've been spacing out on the you now side today. You friends have had a sideline view a little bit. Why is this card so hard right now? It's crazy how we pull the same cards and yet what they mean can feel so different, right? Same, but different. Like we've pulled that card many times. How's your foot, Melty? Great. It's better. It's better actually, Joy V. Thank you for asking. It's a lot better. Today my foot feels I think healed, but I got my wrist giving me issues. Now, always something, right? Always something. Momentum. I have all of this momentum of learning how to deal with my pain. That if I'm not in pain for a split second, my body is like, okay, we sore footed for a while. Now we're gonna sore wrist. And then like, okay, sore wrist, done. Now we're gonna sore back. Okay, sore back done. And we're going to give headaches. Card definitely gave me momentum. Go with it, Try Historian. You are loved, friend. I look forward to seeing you again. I got confidence from the card. I'm gonna wear a bolo tie today. Yeah. Do it, Susanna. You predicted it perfectly. Beautifully green. Yeah, we're all falling apart. We are, and yet we're still trying to build ourselves up, Joy V. Little by little, right? Because we love ourselves, because we don't want to fall apart faster, right? It's not a question of stopping it. Now maybe I should read you this diary or journal entry. On that note, I wrote. Where did I write it? That is the real trip. I think in my manifestation journal. mm Yeah, this is the one. So it is within this surrender prompt, and it goes. And it might be a little bit morbid, so do pay that as disclaimer. As I release control and surrender, a calm comes over me that makes me feel like all will be all right. One day I will die, so I release my fear and choose instead to trust life. How does that feel, Joy Vive? Hmm? Hmm? As I release control and surrender, a calmness, and I believe that control that I'm releasing is also my mind trying to control me to not exercise, right? When I feel like I need to go and exercise a little bit, and my mind is like, I want to release that control as well and surrender to what I know I'm supposed to be doing, the momentum that I know is carrying me forward. A calm comes over me that makes me feel like all will be all right because I know I'm doing the things I'm supposed to be doing. One day, I will die. So I release my fear. Thinking about it like that, right? We are gonna die. I'm sorry. It's gonna happen eventually. So if it's a guaranteed thing, why be scared of it? Right? That's like being scared of the sun rising tomorrow. I was like, why be scared of it? It's gonna happen. You're just gonna experience fear for the rest of your life in that way. And then finally, I will die, so I release my fear and choose instead to trust life. If we're gonna die, release that fear and then choose instead to trust life. Thank you, friends, for trusting me enough. I like how it's like, trust life? I don't trust life as far as I can throw it. Joy Vive, you are the living, right? You are life. You are life, right? Dying is just something that happens to your body. You can't throw life because it is ephemeral. It is you. It is the everything that is around you. Have the most beautifulest day, everyone. I hope you all. I love you all so very, super, super, super dearly, macho grande. So much love to you too, Shad. Thank you for joining me. Trust life, joy, just surrender and go forward. The thing and go towards the things that you love. Yes, exactly. Join me, Joy V. Question everything, life especially. Nah, I'm a fighter dry. I don't surrender. We'll see. We'll see. I'll figure out some sort of way to get you to surrender. Joy surrender will take you to amazing places that you would never imagine. Yeah, and I think Joy V, likes saying things like that. I do think she does because I do too. I also, from a masculine perspective, be like, me surrender? Nah, I'm gonna be strong. I'm gonna take it on. But when I surrender, I get these moments of calm, as I mentioned, where I'm like, things are gonna be all right. One day I'll die, but right now I'm alive. This is the momentum I'm a part of, right? We are all a part of that living momentum. Remember, joy, surrender, love is true. Yes, I'm a fighter. I'm a winner. Things are gonna change. I can feel it. Yes. Again, and I'm gonna read one last diary entry because of that, right? Mm-mm-mm. 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 Here we go. I trust that the world will become a better place, not because things will change, but because I am. Joy Vive, you are that change. Yes, obviously things are going to change. Obviously. Oh, excuse me. It's impossible for it not to change. It's impossible. Like, literally, change is the only constant. But being attached to wanting things to change outside of ourselves causes us to suffer, right? Because we're attached to something. I trust that the world will become a better place, not because things will change, but because I am. I am that I am that I am. I am that I am that I am. I am that I am. I'm watching a cat take a poop in the grass. I am. I am that I am. I am life living here with you friends now. Thank you for joining me, sharing a moment of your time, for contributing to this momentum we're building heading into the future. I appreciate you friends so much. I love you, and I'll see you again soon. Also, stop ignoring my DMs on the Discord. I'm ignoring your DMs on the Discord. Let me see. Opening Discord for the first time in a while. Oh, I think I'm open on the general tab right now. That is pretty cool. I see Joy V commenting on Duck Dad's bird feeder. That Jesse, that looks like a whole ass meal, dude. Let's see what Joy V said. Oh, okay. Thank you, Joy V. That's really nice. I was tripping out for a second. I thought that our beloved sloth actually made it to the New York Times for a second there because of the font. I got bamboozled. Sending you all so much love in your home. Take me all the places I should be there. I don't know where the places are as well. Unfortunately, at this point, I'm figuring it out. I want to. I wanna like. I like. That's the crazy thing about living in a country, right? I've never had the financial means to actually see where it is I'm living right now, and I feel like a lot of people probably don't. Right? We're so again occupied with having to survive that we don't even get to see the places that we live, glamorizing sometimes some other place out there, right? Romanticizing somewhere else. Momentum and the living. Okay, you are the cat. All of us are. We are all of the cat pooping on the line. Love you, friends. So much. You guys are still going. Just about ending it, Duck Dad. I'll see you friends again soon. Eternal blessings to you. I love you. I love you. Thank you again for all of the love that your friends shared in words, in your presence, in financial wealth. The kitties are climbing trees in the background. They love that tree so much. It's like the ideal kitty klimram is the word we would use in Afrikaans. It's a Midwestern goodbye. I don't know what a Midwestern goodbye is, but I'll give you a South African one. Tot ziens. En tot ons mekaar weer sien. Môre. Lief vir jou. Bye bye. Cheers.